What's up guys, I'm Tyler. I'm just going to be going over some of the basics for the Mavic Air 2, flying it for first time or first few times. If you like the intro clips, stay tuned to the end and I'll show you how to do that as well. So with the Mavic Air 2, you want to do some pre-flight checks. With the pre-flight checks, basically you want to make sure the propellers are all on the right wing. Once you do that, make sure you got the gimbal cover off. Once you do that, make sure you got your phone plugged in and you got the knobs on the controller. Once you do that, you just push it once and hold it. Same thing with the controller. You're gonna hear it turn on. So before you take off, you want to make sure you set the auto return to home altitude. Basically want to look around and check all the trees and buildings, see what's about the highest around here. And basically what it does, it's going to bring it back up to that altitude you have it set to. So right now it's 192 meters. Once it brings it back up there, it's going to start coming back home. So make sure you set the return to altitude, and you can also set those max distance and whatnot to whatever you would like, max altitude. There's two ways you can take off. You can either take off manually, where you just push the knobs into the middle, or there's a button on the screen, you can just press it and then that's going to pop up. Once you do that, it's pretty simple from there. You just push that button, then you hold that, and it's going to take off for you. And then the other way is taking off in your hand. It's also not that hard. So one thing to know when you're first taking off though, you want to make sure that the camera is facing away, because when you're first taking off you don't want to hit yourself, and basically whichever way the camera's facing is going to be up. So with the controls, we'll take off here. What you want to do, you want to go up first because you don't want to hit anything, and then you can start flying it to make sure that you aren't going to hit anything. So once you're up in the air, just practice a little bit. The left trigger is controlling going up, down, and spinning it left to right. And then with the right controller, that's going to control going frontwards, backwards, and side to side. So the one thing with it, if you're paying attention to the drone, so if you're watching the drone and you're thinking you want it to come back towards you and you're facing it and you want it to come backward, since the camera's facing me right now, it's actually going to be opposite. So since it's facing me, you would think pulling back is going to bring it towards you. It's actually going to be forward. So when you're watching on the screen, so that's what the camera's seeing, that's always going to be up. So that's pretty much the easiest way to go about it, is just paying attention to that. So there's three different modes. There's tripods, normal, and sport. The only issue with sport mode is that it turns obstacle avoidance off. On the back here, you got the controller for the camera. So if you spin it to the left, this way, it's going to control going down. And then if you spin it to the right, going that way, it's going to control the camera going up. So when you want to land it, that basically has two functions. If the battery gets low enough, it's just going to land in that spot. Or you can bring it back home, or there's a return to home function. Typically you want to land it on a flat surface. I don't really have one around here, so I'm gonna try and I'm just gonna end up catching it. So we're gonna end up finishing the footage in here. My camera ended up overheating and I didn't get the footage of me showing how to get those shots that we got at the beginning. So basically you're gonna want the drone have your subject in frame, and you're gonna want to draw a little square over it, like on your screen. And then the drone's gonna pick it up and you're gonna see the green highlighted box. And with that, you got two different functions on the left and the right. The left, you can either trace or parallel, and basically what that'll do is when your subject's, say, running, it's gonna trace it and just follow it and keep your subject in frame. What you're gonna have to do, when you hit the trace button or the parallel, you're gonna have to hit that go button. And on the right side, if you select that one's gonna do a 360 around you, or however long you would like, and you can control how fast or slow it goes with the little slider at the bottom that's gonna pop up. Same thing with this one, you're gonna have to hit go for it to spin around. And lastly, if you don't wanna do either of those functions, you can just have your subject selected. And when you have the subject selected,
You can move the drone however you would like, and it's basically gonna try and keep the subject in frame. Sometimes if you do go too far away, it's gonna end up losing it. Or if you do get too close or do some movements that it doesn't really like, where you fly straight over it, it's gonna end up losing it and it's gonna try and find it. So you just gotta watch the movements that you kind of do with it and try and keep your subject at a good distance away from it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I gave you some good insights and tips and tricks on flying the Mavic Air 2. If I did at all, maybe give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for some more content on drone flying and some other tips and tricks that I will be coming out with, and have fun flying.